Alright, this is from an 84 Berlinetta, and I was curious as to see how the speedometer cable and all that stuff works. So, I posted a diagram on an earlier post in the third Gen Camaro. But the pink wire here, this pink wire next to the power wires, this is your speed sensor. And then on the transmission for a Berlinetta, this is the speed sensor. So that wire would go to the pink lead on the 2-wire, and then the white I just ran to the ground. And I just wanted to show you, because I saw some arguing going on about needing to have the buffer from under the dash. I don't have the buffer here. Pink wire to the purple right on to the speed sensor, and then white right to ground. And then watch the speedo there. You're watching the speedo there? And there you go. It works without a buffer. Plain and simple. Thanks for watching. So I've already disconnected the speedo cable because we don't need that. Not on a digital. And this is what it looks like. And I apologize. I apologize. I already broke off the needle for the miles per hour, but who cares? This is what was original in my 85 Z28. And we're getting rid of it. Now, for those that know about the Berlinetta, most Berlinettas had an option, because I've never seen the Berlinetta, and that's what this is, gauge cluster in a regular or any other type of Camaro. Only in the Berlinettas. I think it was 84, 85, and 86. Maybe an 87 here and there. But it was like an options package. But this is it, and we're going to fit it in there. And so what I want to show you is a couple of things that might kind of make it hard on us. Is this is going to be one, because here where it goes, this is not cut out like it is in a Berlinetta. So I'm going to end up using a Dremel and cut this here out. But this and these pinouts here, this is what feeds this gauge cluster to make it work. So, oh, I have the harness out, and I already marked it. So somewhere in this video, I'm also going to show where I did a couple other things last night, because I was super bored, had lots of energy, and had to burn it off. Otherwise, I knew I wasn't going to get to sleep. But I have the reading inside for what your miles per hour are, kilometers, whatever, so on and so forth. I'm also hoping that using the Berlinetta, I'll be able to get the tack to work. I've been very stubborn on this, and I know there's some guys that are out there going to make some comments down below about there's this you can buy, there's that you can buy, and resistors and what have you, and make it work properly. Hell, I've done everything I can with HP tuners, and for some reason I'm not getting the tack to work. So it leads me to believe that the tack probably just doesn't work on my gauge cluster. Now, I don't know, because it was never hooked up when I bought this car. You've probably seen it in the intro of my video when it looked nice. That it was never hooked up. There was never a gauge cluster or anything even in there. That the interior wasn't that far off from what it looks like now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pinout out of my book. I have a Camaro book. I'm going to get the pinout and find out what these wires here are. And I will match them to that harness, and we'll get them put on. And here we go. There's the old gauge cluster, and there it is, sitting right in there. It even lined up just right for that screw there, and then put our fob. And there it is. And there it is, all hooked up. And, oh, get out of this car. And next we're on our way to go get an exhaust put on so we can get it out to the school. So by the end of the day today, by the end of this video, I think we'll have an exhaust put on it. There's not much to put on. I really wanted to go a particular way, and I'm just wasting so much energy on fighting with the local exhaust shops and what you can and can't do and so on and so forth. And for what it is, I did find one shop that's gonna sort of help me a little bit. So that's the MagnaFlow 80 series that was already on the car, but it was just kind of hanging there the day that we picked it up, if you go all the way back to the first video. And then there was an extension pipe there. So basically, I'm taking it to the exhaust shop here in just a few minutes. They're gonna make the crossover pipe or Y pipe, whatever, come into one and then go back to that. And the agreement that we made, I didn't want just some, you know, sort of like factory 85 Z28 Camaro exhaust thrown on there. We do want it to breathe. So I did find a shop that will go from my 2 3/8 collectors that are on the end of the headers now, that's on the headers. They'll go 2 3/8 over to the other 2 3/8, and they'll be able to custom bend it all the way to the back at 2 1/2. I was kind of hoping for 2 3/4, and then go into that 80 muffler series, but 2 1/2 I don't think is going to be that bad. We'll see what happens, but I think it'll still have a nice rumble. I don't think it's going to be all that horrible. I know it'll be the video. Again, I'm sorry for the span in between videos and how often I'm pumping them out, but it is what it is. Local truck driver, and I do 14 to 16 hour days, and now that it's starting to get darker, it's going to be a little bit harder to do these videos. So wow. Wow. Sounds very stealthy. Until you get on it, it's very stealthy. Do you notice that, Kathy? It's very stealthy until you actually hit the gas pedal.
Yeah, I'm happy. Oh, you're getting me in my shape.
That's all right. No, I just want him to see the dash, the gauge clusters in there. Use the tilt. Bring that down a little bit. So you can see there, I still got a couple more wires to hook up, and we're getting rid of the old school pull out for the headlight. We're gonna get rid of that, get the fuse block up. The only thing to put in now is a seat belts, or a seat belt, and then I can get it out to the school. You know what's funny is I just heard the fan come on. I gotta check the tune because it's supposed to stay on for like 30 seconds after. I might have accidentally turned that back off or something when I was changing tunes and all that, but now it looks a little low to the ground. but this is how I wanted it. We've got a collector there with a gasket. The dogs are getting in there. We've got a collector there with a gasket. And then right where it connects to the mid-length headers. But I'm telling you, it's still higher than how low my Corvette is to the ground. So there should be no ground clearances. I'm telling you, I can't help you see how the difference in that. But there's definitely a like 6-7 inch gap there at the lowest points of the exhaust. Wow. Very stealthy. Very quiet. So the school already has the front bumper and the original headlights. The school already has that. And we've already dropped off new fenders and new doors. I have to put that skirt back on that goes there. I just probably throw it in the back of the car there somewhere, but they have new doors at the school. They have new fenders. They have the front bumper. And this is the hood we're using. We got rid of the original hood. I guess this is from like a 92 Z28. But final look of what it looks like at this moment, because when we get it back, it'll be new doors, new fenders. The rear quarters will all be worked. It's going to have a brand new paint job and all put back together. I'm very excited about this build. And then the only thing we'll have left... Oh, she locked the door on me. Great. The only thing we'll have left is the interior. Everything to do with the interior of the car is the only thing that'll be left to do. So, here it is. Last look of its current situation. And the next time we see this car, it will be done and painted. So the next video you see will be us getting it back from the school, all done and painted, and I'll put the decals on myself. We got a lot of decals to go on this car. And yeah, if you notice that in the background, that's my neighbor's new 57. So I'm doing the outro now in this conversation after showing you guys the dash. Everything works on it. The temperature gauge rises, the oil pressure, everything is working on it. It bolted right in. I wired it just like I showed previously earlier in this video. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit all this together, but everything on that Berlinetta dash works. Now, it did not fit right in there. It was not like just a, plug and play. There was a little bit of customizing to the existing dash and stuff like that now in order to make that fit in there. So, but it wasn't a whole bunch. It was not a whole bunch at all. So, let's get to the exhaust shop. Let's see if we're going to get an exhaust put on here. Make sure they're not trying to rip us off for too much money, because some of these shops are quoting me $500, $600, $700 for a Y pipe and a single pipe back just to that muffler. And that's, be smart. You got to do your due diligence, shop around, make sure you get some prices and know what kind of pipe and what gauge they're putting on and what the warranty is and stuff like that. Some of these guys are putting thin wall gauge pipe on your cars and stuff like that. It's lasting like, a year or two, and then it's crap. It's falling apart, rotted out. So All right, let's go to the exhaust shop. Let's see what happens.